What is going on YouTube? Hitter back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we have a ton of crazy stuff to discuss in the video. Obviously, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. More specifically, we're going to be looking at the massive run that just happened within cryptocurrency. More specifically, it wasn't necessarily a big run to the upside. It was in reference a run to the downside, hitting specific target points that we all have figured out in the previous videos on the channel. So this is going to be huge. The market is dropping, as you guys see in the title. Where are we going to go? How low are we going? Why did the drop happen? This is all the questions that we'll be answering in today's episode. You can see Bitcoin taking a major downtrend, Ethereum taking a major downtrend, massive volume flowing into the market. You can see XRP getting hit on a massive scale, falling, ever substantially all the way down to previous supports, and these are all supports that we have mentioned in today's episode and in previous episodes. Otherwise, guys, if you are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and remember to follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way you guys can get all the important updates to the channel, as well as be able to message me directly or just to hang out on Twitter. Otherwise, let's jump into the episode. So guys, I don't even know where to begin. Honestly, I really don't. There's definitely going to be a ton of information jam-packed in today's episode. We may go a little bit over the normal 10-minute ratio that I try to hit, but specifically in today's video, tons of things I want to talk about. Obviously, huge shout out to everybody subscribing to the channel. We have finally broken 14,000 subscribers, on our way up to 15,000. I'm absolutely mind blown. We are almost teeter-tottering on 14.1 right now, which is absolutely amazing. Specifically, yesterday's video and the past couple of videos, we have been discussing some crazy important things. As you guys can clearly tell, volume is incoming. Just 4 days ago, literally 4 days ago, the past week, we have been discussing that the markets are looking very shaky. Volume has subsided. We're trading out sideways for the longest time. These usually and almost always end in some source of major volume hitting into the market, and it usually ends up exploding. Now, this could either be volume to the upside or volume to the downside. That has finally been confirmed. It's a bearish pull to the downside. We have discussed ways that we would take advantage of a correction to the downside like this. Hopefully you guys have, taken advantage of this. I know a bunch of you guys on my Patreon have already done this. You've shared it with me. You've made huge gains, and I will probably end up sharing it with you guys probably later on in on the channel in one of my other videos if you guys give me the permission to. But honestly, we've been making major leaps and gains, and I do want to discuss with you guys where we're going to be headed in the near future, as well as whether or not this is the bottom. So in regards to the videos that we've previously made, you can see we've talked about volume incoming, the bearish signal on here, and then previous videos moving on, we have being ready. You can see that we have tons of uncertainty in the market. We've had tons of slight figures that usually tend to reference bearish breakouts, or more specifically big runs in a very short amount of time. So just going back 2 days ago, we had the fact that we were going to explode, about to explode. I obviously wanted to put on a little more of a clickbait title, so I just threw the uptrending arrow. But if you actually watched this video, you would have referenced and realized that we were actually going to be moving in some sort of direction very quickly. Then you can see in yesterday's video specifically, we were discussing that we were pretty much coming very close to another test of this resistance right here, and it usually tends to be breaking bearish at a very aggressive volume to the downside. And that is exactly what happened in today's video that we will look at. You can see just zooming in right here. And I mentioned yesterday that every single time we touch these points, we tend to, explode downwards very rapidly. So that's what I want to discuss with you guys. You can see very clearly here, this is one of those options. We had one touch right here, extreme volume to the downside, another touch, extreme volume. This didn't actually get all the way there, but we are seeing that extreme volume. This was something that we were also referencing. So without further ado, I do just want to jump right into the technical analysis, discuss where we're going to be headed and the aftermath left after this major, dip. So looking at the top 10 cryptocurrencies, you can see a couple of things of interest. Obviously, markets are tanking. We are exploding downwards, and this is very easy to reference due to the fact that we've seen a lot of sideways consolidation. You can see this within a lot of the major cryptos like Litecoin right here, trading sideways, and Bitcoin trading sideways. This usually ends in some sort of break, some sort of massive volume coming into the market. As you guys can see, a lot of the cryptos in the top 10 are actually down double digits. Litecoin down 11, XRP down 9, Bitcoin down 6, Ethereum down 9, like I said. So a lot of these cryptos are breaking bearish and exploding to the downside. Now, in the past couple of days, if you guys have had me on Patreon, I want to share it, but it is exclusive to those people that have me on Patreon, and I don't just want to post it up because that's pretty much, you know, exposing what's specific information is on there. So if you guys are following me on Patreon, or for those of you that aren't, what I've been doing is sharing my specific trades in specific as to when this market is going to be breaking and at what point my trades are going to be implemented. So we have been discussing that if we were going to break these resistances, we were going to see a short position opened that would, you know, initially send us all the way back down to levels as low as almost $8,000. And that is exactly what happened. So I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that is on Patreon that I've been in communication with and in contact with that took advantage of the major short to the downside. You guys have made a ton of profit, and I want to just give a huge shout out to you guys. You guys know who you are. If you guys are interested in signing up so you guys can capitalize off the next run, definitely make sure to check out the link in the description. My Patreon link is there. Now, in reference to these major moves that we're starting to see, you can see that Ethereum and practically every cryptocurrency is dropping like a fly. And I want to reference what exactly we've been doing. So in reference to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the one coin that we can actually short here on the channel because we are using DueDEX to make those trades. DueDEX currently only has Bitcoin available to short. So we use Bitcoin's charts to figure out what prices to implement. So we discussed in yesterday's video that if we were to break resistances around the $8,900 level, if not breaking resistances below the $8,800 level, there was a very, very, very good chance we would fall all the way down to our previous support. As you guys can see on the weekly, where that support is right here. Noticing that we were very, very, very overextended and away from this uptrend on the weekly, you can see that when we did reverse downwards and started to have a bearish move, we were headed back down to this support right here. So notice the uptrend that has been started since the beginning of January of 2019. You can see the beginning here, and now we're into 2020, over a year now of support of this uptrend. It's a very slow, gradual uptrend, but you can see with us correcting back down, it was almost guaranteed that we were going to fall back down to the uptrend and back down to the high-low middle moving average on the weekly. That is exactly what we did in today's market. So it's absolutely amazing to see that the price is heading back down there. Now, in reference to prices heading up higher, I still believe, and I'm a firm believer, that there's a good chance we could fall lower, retesting $8,000 on the coin. If indeed we do fall as low as $8,000, I'll be putting in a long position because I do believe there's a very good chance we will be bouncing significantly off this uptrend right here. You can see we've done it in the past. Every time we retest it, we break bullish. Very good chance we'll see some more consolidation like we see here, and then we could be breaking bullish once again. So that is absolutely awesome. In regards to moving into the daily, you can see on the price, it was very hard to track and trace. That's why I started to look at Litecoin to reference Bitcoin's move, because as you guys know, what's hard to see on one coin might be a little bit easier to track on another. Litecoin was that example. So we used Litecoin to reference the potential moves within Bitcoin. And if you guys can see really quickly here, it looked like we were just trending out sideways. There was practically very low volume for the most part for literally a week and a half. And this usually tends to break in some sort of direction. Now, we were figuring out whether or not we would be breaking bullish, whether or not we'd be breaking bearish. We discussed if we were able to break through and close a candle above that $63 resistance on this coin, then there was a very, very, very high chance that we would be breaking upwards up to $72. We also had that option that if we broke below our previous support, which is literally right here, if we were able to break below the $60 resistance, or sorry, the $60 support, we even had it lower. We were discussing $58 support. There was a very good chance we would short the coin as it fell down lower. Now, we don't have the option viable on my DueDEX account to short Litecoin specifically, but we use this as a reference. If the candle was to break $59, there was a good chance Bitcoin was going to follow pursuit. That is exactly what happened. We broke through the high-low MMA, we broke through resistance. We're setting higher lows right now, and lower highs, which is in reference to the fact that this is a bear market for the most part, and there was a very good chance we would be breaking bearish all the way down to the $8,000 support that we discussed in yesterday's video. That is exactly what's happening. I do think there is maybe a day left of consolidating downwards, retesting levels as low as $8,000, but then I do believe we will see a reversal, probably consolidate a little bit on this support right here, and then probably reverse back upwards, retesting $10,000 within the market. Now, in regards to XRP and Ethereum, this is where things got interesting. We were discussing how we were getting sandwiched in between resistance of 24 cents and our uptrend right here. You can see we were also battling that high-low middle moving average. This was in reference to the fact that if we broke through the resistance of about 24 to 25 cents, we would be switching long, expecting to shoot up to around 30 cents. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We also discussed that if we were able to break through this support right here, if we actually broke through our uptrend, this purple support, there was a very high chance we would, explode downwards, and that is exactly what happened. So it's awesome to see that the trades and the discussions I made in yesterday's video have taken truth, and they have actually been unfolded. So you can see when we were capitalizing on how low we would potentially fall down to, we discussed that this red band drawn at 20 cents was where our target price would hit, and that is exactly what happened. So I've actually made a fair bit of money trading this market, and I'm extremely excited that this is actually happening, because we had made money on DueDEX's charts using Bitcoin. It was in reference to the fact that if we broke below this resistance, we had a short option that would open up because we had two positions opened. If we were able to break above this resistance of $9,200, we would be buying long, expecting to see movements up to 10.4. We also had a position open to short the market if we broke below the $85.50 resistance or $85.50 support, and we would capitalize off the drop. That drop is exactly happening. So we did end up making a massive profit, and it was very obvious to figure out that when trading sideways and trending sideways, it usually tends to break with extreme volume, and that once again is exactly what happened. So all in all, the markets did absolutely amazing. Yes, it is breaking bearish, but now that we've figured out how to short the market using DueDEX, it's opened up a ton of doors to make profit. So if you guys haven't taken advantage of this, I highly recommend signing up. The link to DueDEX is also in the description. These are the two things that will pretty much guarantee you a successful hobby in 2020 and in cryptocurrency. The fact that you guys have the opportunity to watch my trades on Patreon, and the fact that you guys can actually short a market on DueDEX just really opens doors to making money when we break bullish and when we break bearish. Otherwise, a huge shout out to everybody that is subscribed to the channel. Like I said, if you guys are new, definitely make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, help that YouTube algorithm, and make sure to follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. Otherwise, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.